Master Naima here with Melanin Sovereignty. Here at Melanin Sovereignty, we are dedicated to teaching melanin transformational leaders the embodying vast power so that they may really lead the way it's necessary for them to lead. It is so hot in California today. Perhaps I should have turned on the AC before I sat down here. But I am extremely hot. So, for those of you who are, you know that these are valuable, I ask that you share this video. Look at this picture of my sister in her prom dress, like 15. How long ago was this? 16, 26, at least 15 years ago. She got this handmade. um, uh, Sorry, sis. It's hot, and I don't have anything in my immediate vicinity to fan myself. Oh, wait, I have something else. So, for those new to me, and yeah, so today, first of all, today I'm discussing what it takes to embody vast power. I'm aware that I talk about these things with ease, um, and so I make it seem easy. And if it weren't for the doggone mortal brain, it would be easy. Yeah, but we have a brain, and uh, we're human. So, oh my goodness, it's so hot. Jesus Christ. Um, so why does this matter? And who am I? You know, when I come before I come here, I'm always come as, like who I am, right? And then remembering who's listening to me, who's paying attention. And oh, I'm so hot. Um, why does embodying vast power matter? So we're all seeing what's going on in the world now, and opportunities are around like never before. Hey, Facebook. Hey, YouTube. Feel welcome to share, comment, because I do pay attention, even if it takes me a few moments to see it and respond. Um, Embodying vast power. This is the thing that I'm hearing. People have been telling me this for years, and more, obviously, as I grow about embodying. Oh, like how much you embody, and how many women have hired me because they wish to embody. Right? They're not making the money, and they know that there's a kind of embodiment of power that's not happening. They're doing videos and things like this, and yet the power is not there. They're not asserting the power. They're, all kind of details fall through the cracks because power is leaking through. And so, for those of you who are seeing me for the new, um, um, my career, like right now, I have started Melanin Sovereignty. Melanin Sovereignty is new. Melanin Sovereignty is dedicated to Black transformational leaders and others of color who are who care about using their spiritual gifts, power, intelligence, whether it's in health, money, relationships, and the spirituality of all that, and converting that into a well-paid six-figure, multiple six-figure, seven-figure online business. That's what we're here to do for Melanin folk. And yet, my career has not been built on marketing to and serving Black folks specifically. It's never been specific for me. I'm a seven-figure earner. I actually did seven figures for the first time in 2017. And so, what I learned, though, is what I'm teaching Melanin Transformational leaders. What I learned about what it takes, and I should add that my specialty has been on high end. I know, I've come to know through talking to melanin coaches that so many like new coaches and even some experienced ones still do this by the hour thing. They're still doing per sessions. I didn't even know people still really did that aside from therapists, right? And so the way that I have won, I from 2015, I stayed high end. I mean, other than a $2,000 course that I taught last year, and maybe a few small things here and there. But the minimum to work with me privately for a VIP day is 15,000, and then to work together over an extended period of time, meaning starting at a minimum of 6 months, is 20,000. So my specialty is not on selling cheap products and doing this. Um, these like funnel systems where you like sell a $27 thing and then you sell them ultimately into some 5,000 or $10,000 thing. I never took that route. It's not a bad route. It's just really finding what business model works for you. And I never cared about that. I cared about working high end because I'm in the business of transformation. Typically, people who are buying some $99 do it yourself course are not transforming anything. They're buying information. They're really buying convenience because somebody else gathered that information and maybe applied it and is selling it to them in a $99 course, which is totally fine. I'm not bagging any of this. It's about, what do you wish to be your business model? What is your style? What kind of life do you wish to live? And so in 2015, I made the decision definitively. And I told you guys the story on what was that, last Friday, about I got that $65,000 client, and I was done. I was like, I'm not never going back. So from there, it was, I think the minimum to work with me was 10,000 in 2015 for I think like 6 months, but I've never gone less than 10,000 since 2015. So when I say step into power with money, I mean big money, right? And if you go back and look at my marketing over the last, you know, 3 years, it's always been big money, not just money, because somebody, you can go to somebody else and they can teach you how to sell $99 courses. And I have coaches I can teach you to who will show you how to crush it selling $99 courses on Instagram. Okay. I know a woman who she sells a $2,000 course and she's at like 4 million a year or something like that. Black woman. And so there's nothing wrong with any of these. They all work. It's about finding what works for you. So if you care about going higher end and not like exclusively and only high end, like that's what my heart wanted to do. But let's say you like to, work, be able to have high end and then serve folks who are not necessarily like at the $27 mark, but are still substantial clients who are really invested, and you're a person of color, Black and otherwise, then melanin sovereignty is for you. Particularly though, if I was thinking about this, about how do I be clear with this new demo who I'm talking to? Um, you will benefit mostly here if you have been in the game, like you're not new to coaching, and you have done enough marketing and stuff to know that it's not just about having a hot ass business strategy, right? You've bought courses, you've enrolled in coaching programs, and you realize it is you that requires cultivation. You recognize that there's a fierce power in you, that once that power is unleashed, motherfuckers better get out the way. Like that, you know? And you are so hungry to unleash her in a way that's elegant, that's true to you, that's signature, that's honest, that's pure, that's embodied, right? Like if you enjoy watching me, I call it masturbating. Like you can, you love to come here and watch me and just drink me in, and you like to feel all, powerful because you like to watch me in my power and right, all of that. Don't you want your people to feel like that when they watch? That's right. Isn't that what it is? You want the people watching you to look at you and just be like irresistible when they, right? You're going to learn that with melanin sovereignty. That's where you're going to learn that. I've been in this industry since 2011. I know what's out there. And the power that I'm talking about is a long game. That's why I've said, I'm going to keep saying it. 2 years, 2 years minimum for you to really start embodying. This is not just about some 30-day course, and you go home and do a few assignments and, nah. Go back and look at Friday's video. I talked specifically about getting punched in the throat, going, licking your wounds, coming back out, getting punched in the throat. And you only get punched in the throat when you play a big game, when you play on purpose, when you do the exercises that I tell you to do, not these cute little sizzly things that and it's not even to, talk bad about, it's just telling the truth. Like we see what's going on Instagram, right? So that's who Melanin Sovereignty is for. If you're like true embodiment where you are an anomaly in the marketplace, and for Black and Melanin Transformational leaders, this is where we're failing right now. So I did some marketing to prepare for today, and I said that there's this push-pull, there's this chaotic vibration, there's this now's the time, Naima, I'm ready, but right? Now's the time, man, now's the time. I've been ready, I've been hungering, I've been longing, I've been waiting, I've been, Naima, I'm ready to make the money. I decided 2020 was the year I was going to get serious about money, or I was going to up my prices, or I was going to, whatever the thing is. And please hear me. The way that we have been working does not work for us. See, the level up, so I'm going to just go. I'm not going to even break down point by point by point. Have the ears to hear and pick it up. All right. The way that we navigate and think now, so many of us, is so corrupt. What Alexis says, that's been my thing. I don't want to be so high end that I'm not of service to those I'm passionate about helping. Yeah. So, and you can do both. That's the thing about being fully embodied in power. You can do both. And I'll say this. You guys don't see any offers being made right now because I'm building up a team so that we have a really rich program that's not just me, right? It's important to me that our program includes traumatic care, because a lot of you think that you can just go buy a course and go crush it when your heart is broke. Your pussy needs healing. The way you even look at yourself is just all off. And that's fine, right? Listen, we've been around, right? Some of us didn't have love coming up. We made some poor mistakes at 22 and 17 and 35 and require some healing. That's fine. That's what we're doing here at Melanin. This is holistic. This is not just about here's your business strategy. Go do these videos on this days and the offer and all that. I've been doing this long enough to know that I could give you the best marketing strategy that's tailor-made for your attitude, your tone, your style, your all that. And you're not going to do it. Why? Because you're worried about making more money than your mother, or you're worried about your husband being like, who do you think you are? Or you're afraid because you got bullied in high school and you think them girls still watching you, or because your self-esteem is low because your daddy left when you was 3 and now you're afraid to be a woman. Like all of that stuff will come up if I could give you $1 million marketing strategy right now. And I ain't even talked about the color part. That Black folks got to work twice as hard to be half as good, that you Black, so you was meant to be poor, so you're less smart, you're not as good, you're not deserving of trust and big money and respect. Like, I didn't even get on that. Like all of that requires healing. All of that. You are not going to get to 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, 7 figures, if any of that is in the way. And that Melanin Sovereignty, my team is going to be killing all of that. Illusions, deeply embedded conditioning, that poor Black consciousness, poor wealth consciousness, patriarchy garbage, all of that is getting dealt with. That's why you don't hear me out here making a bunch of offers yet, until I believe that we have a strong team that can handle all of the business that comes with really serving Melanin Transformational leaders, coaches, teachers, healers, and the like. What it's really going to take. And it's not going to take just business strategy. Because if it was just business strategy, I could kill it all day. I'd be making offers all day on here. But what I do recommend you do is enter your email with the link with this video so that when we do start making offers, when we do put out our first launch or whatever it is that is ultimately decided, that you are notified. All right. And if you are ready to rock and roll with me privately now, you can still DM me. I am available to work with those who are more advanced, right? And when I say more advanced, I mean you're already regularly selling anywhere between $2,000 and $5,000 packages. You're now ready to step into 5-figure packages. You're now ready to play a bigger game, clarify your offer more, right? And everything that's going to require for you to really step into this bigger money. So I am open to that. I mean, I personally love private. That's actually my preference, is private. And it was made clear to me that it's time for me to go wider and serve in a group format and serve those of you who have been doing all kinds of, like spiritual coaching with your clients, healing with your clients, relationship, helping women find their husband, or, husband find the wife, and helping women with body shame and overcoming childhood sexual trauma and like all of that. And you making pennies, charging $100 an hour, not making no real progress. And maybe you have enrolled in these fancy white business coaching programs where the white coach cannot see you. And you probably learned with this George Floyd uproar and all of the shit that went down in the transformation industry that she's not trying to look at your pain. She's unwilling and unable to look at your pain, right? How many of you have had that experience? Let me know in the comments, even if you're looking at this on the replay, right? She's happy to take your $500,000, $800,000 a month. But when you start really hurting and start getting personal and getting down to the heart of what it's like to be you and to make money in this industry and in this world, she telling you some polite liberal way of how she ain't available for that. Anybody here experience that? I'm not trying to get into a conversation about it, but you understand what I'm saying, right? I forgot this hot conversation. I didn't even get my water yet. Alexa says, correct. I'd love to work with you. I'm a clinical psychologist and healer. It's time. I've been ghost watching for a long time. How many of y'all been ghost watching? Alexis, you are not alone. I had a woman inbox me, beautiful. Ooh, she was she was like Nairobi goddess, dark, beautiful like that. And she was in one of my old Facebook groups, and she messaged me because I was closing the group. There's a beginning, middle, and end for a lot of things for me. And I was closing this group, and I'm getting ready to get to it, but stick with me because I'm going to get into what's required for embodiment of vast power. You guys, we are it. I see so many Black women on Instagram and everywhere talking about we are the original woman. Well, act like it. Teach it. Act like it. You talk about we the original woman, but you not. Where is that reflected? Because you did an Instagram post? No, I need to see it in how you breathe, how you carry yourself, how you teach, how you lead. Where is the leadership? But anyway, so this beautiful Black woman inboxed me and she said, Naima, I was deemed gifted as a child. I have been following you for years. I shut off my power long ago because people made me feel like I was wrong and crazy. And I've been watching and I'm still not quite ready, but thank you so much. So Alexis, she's just somebody who was willing to say something. There are plenty, believe me, I've been in this industry long enough to know the people who have paid me the most money have not been the people in my comment section. They have not been the people liking and sharing. They are silently watching, getting themselves together. And then one day out the blue, they send me a message saying something like this. I've been watching you for 1 year, 2 years, 6 years, 3 years. And I would love to talk about working together. And those are the people who drop $20,000 like it's nothing. So if you're around here thinking that because you ain't getting a bunch of likes and you ain't getting a bunch of comments, when you are doing true transformational work that ain't all Instagram pink and cute, that ain't all, trendy looking, trying to get a bunch of claps that ain't got nothing to do with money, and you really start being the first, please listen to me, Melanin Transformational Leader. You are likely the first in your bloodline to do what you're doing in this lifetime. Maybe, some generations ago, some things happened that you either, don't consciously know, or maybe you've had dreams that let you know, right? Because I did a video about being a descendant of a high spiritual ruling class, and maybe you're one of those ones. I'm saying today, in 2020, you must lean in with melanin sovereignty and cultivate the courage to be the first. The first one to talk the way you're going to talk on camera. The first one to embody what you know to be true. The first one to lead in the way that's necessary, even if 99% of people don't agree with you. That's what's going to be required of you. So, embodying vast power. What do I mean when I say embodying vast power? Embodying vast power means the ability to be with all without being blown over by it or judging it. What the fuck does that even mean, Naima, right? I'm going to repeat it. Embodying vast power is the ability to be with all things without being ran over by it or judging it. So what does this look like in everyday life? Oh, I have so many examples. This one just popped in my head. So I have a client who I'm working with right now who is making tremendous progress. She's a Caribbean woman. And she has been talking fast and talking a lot in her marketing videos because she is scared and nervous. And there's some things that she would like to say about the limitations of the Bible and what she sees as being what's holding Black people hostage in their inability to see the fullness of the Bible or the limitations of the Bible or what the Bible misses, just like her intelligence that she wishes to share, right? And so as a result of that, when she gets on camera, she talks fast and she talks a lot. And so when she's on video, she's like this. She's like, everybody saw then, and then so yeah, and so and so so she's talking like that when she's doing her marketing videos. And we actually had a coaching call this morning. So she's doing an event, a marketing event soon. And I said to her, let's say her name is Candace, right? I said, Candace, this is what I would like for you to do. I said, get on camera and do a couple things. One, act as if nobody is there. And then two, place yourself as first and everybody else second. Okay, put yourself as first and everybody else as second. So you can say this or not. You can let people know, hey, I'm glad you're here, but this is for, if you get something out of today, great, but this is for me. I said, and I want you to take your time. I said, check your water while the camera is on. I said, even if 10 people are waiting for you and you can see 10 people are there, take your time. I said, check your water, make sure your water is there. Check your, and I said, and do this all very slowly. Do not rush. I said, if you notice yourself getting nervous, just notice that you're nervous. And okay, I'm nervous. I feel this. And let yourself feel it. Correct your camera. If you need to correct your camera, get yourself organized. I said, and sit back in your seat because she's in the camera and she's kind of like this nervous kind of, right? I said, and sit back in your seat. I said, relax. I said, you don't have to do this every time. I said, let's just do this time to get you into your body, fully embodied power, right? Take your time, right? That's what I'm telling her, right? And why am I telling her to do this? Because one of the things that, okay, listen to me closely, because this relates to money, sex, which are like two of the hot portals when it comes to embodying power. Sex and money is where we typically run and leak power, right? This feeling of like being on camera and afraid to speak the truth and ooh, the sensation of all that, right, is what makes a person when they're on camera get all nervous and fidgety and over talk and be unclear and give too much and right, all that. It also makes you not get on camera at all, right? It makes you do all these things that keeps you out of power and you just leak it, right? Or you get on camera and you forget what you really wish to say and you start saying all these other things. Then when you're going to look at the video, you're like, what am I saying? I don't even make my point. Right? All that, right? And so this sensation right here, right? And you can apply this to so many things, but let me stay on point right here. The sensation that I'm speaking to, right? Being able to be with that without doing anything, judging it or being blown out by it. That's what I mean. Embodiment of vast power is the ability to be with without judging it, shaming it, making it wrong, getting all emotionally involved, or being blown out, avoiding, got to go take a nap, ignoring, bypassing, meaning you sternly are with, right? So what does this look like? Let's say you do a video on a topic that you are afraid to do a video on. Let's say it's about high spirituality because you come to have some understanding about how spiritual laws work, about whatever the thing may be. Maybe something about how we're out of power with our sexuality, and that's why we can't, whatever the thing is, magnetize the man. We can't allow good to be in our lives for long term, right? And you get online and you do a video and somebody comes into your comments and they're like, you're a fraud. You know, I don't like people like you because A, B, C, and D. Then they go onto their personal page and they tag you or they say your name and they're like, you're this chick, she's a fraud. She's over here selling coochie and being blasphemous to the word of God. And right. And I'm making this up, but let's just say, right. And, then you see there's like 30 comments of people being like, ooh, child, that's blasphemous, girl. God gonna handle her, girl. And ooh, these people, that's why we got all these children out of wedlock now. And that's why we got these young people like this now. Why we got all these single women like this now. And you got all these comments with your name in it and you the fraud and you just, right? How does a fully embodied person handle that versus a woman who's out of power and who's run by fear and unconscious stuff? And like, how does she handle that? She goes and yells. She doesn't want to do video anymore. She hides. Then she wants to take down her video. She starts second guessing if she should even do this work. You see what I mean? That's out of power. Every act that she would take would be leaking power. Deleting her video, leaking power. Going to get in the comments where those other 30 people are telling her she's blasphemous and she's going to hell, leaking power. Worrying about it for the next 3 weeks, leaking power. Right? All the different things that she would do to try to get away from it, stop this, because what she's feeling is high sensation. Sensation is not just good. It's any kind of high emotional state. How many people do you know who can handle high emotional states elegantly? This is what I mean by embodying vast power. Now, if you have been working with Melanin Sovereignty about dealing with high emotional states, and money and sex are two domains or high emotional states. So, and sex doesn't always mean just intercourse. It can mean anything that's sexual. Getting on camera, fully in your body, fully confident, can be something that's highly sexual for you. My experience is when a woman does become embodied, she's sexually alive, sexually awake. And she can assert that sexuality in any way she wishes to. It's not always with a man and where intercourse is involved. You see? What is this right here? Okay, there you go. And so this is what I mean by what does embodied power look like? So if a woman who was embodied saw a video like that about her, what would she do? Immediately, she would recognize that that's not about her, that's about the person. And she would not flinch about it at all. It'd be nothing. It'd be like, oh yeah, of course. She would even anticipate such a thing because she's aware that a woman being fully awake, being alive, and this is so, I've been around Right. I'm only anomaly because so many women refuse to come into full power. That's the only reason why. It's not that I can and they can't. It's that the getting punched in the throat. Getting punched in the throat is getting on camera and saying what you really say and being willing to let the chips fall where they may. That's a version of getting punched in the throat. Another version of getting punched in the throat is having a conversation, a necessary conversation, and somebody disagreeing with you, not liking you. It's having people not like you anyway. That's and I know but that's aversion, right? Taking a risk where you're doing something that just feels so right to you, but people disagree. Of course they're going to disagree. It comes with the territory. So one of the things that I mentioned about, okay, I'm moving on now. One of the things that I mentioned in the marketing about embodying vast power and why this topic is present right now is because the conversations I'm having with Melanin Transformational leaders who are not directly saying that unconscious fear of white rage is an issue for them, but I know it's an issue because it's inherited. It's just so inherited in Black people as a whole, not just transformational leaders and coaches and healers and such. Because every time we have risen, every time we have created greatness, and let's even back it up from there. Our ancestors, our recent ancestors, when I say recent, I mean in the last 400 years, were conditioned to not be successful. We're conditioned that you were punished if you rose. We're conditioned that if you were if you read, if you won in any way, that you were going to be punished and killed and battered and maimed and all that. So, you wonder why. Have you seen this? Right? Black people are so much about secrecy. Ooh, don't tell nobody your business, girl. Ooh, right? Don't it sound old when you hear it? It sounds so grandma-like, right? Like the aunt, right? Ooh, girl, don't tell nobody your business, girl. Ooh, girl, that is rooted in the conditioning of don't be successful. Don't be successful. Don't let nobody see you be successful. Don't talk about success. That's a part of that poor Black identity. Ooh, girl, don't tell nobody, girl. I started reading a book yesterday called, oh God, The Warmth of Other Suns. The Warmth of Other Suns. The author, oh my God, I can't. She's a Black woman, Pulitzer Prize winner. Just Amazon it. The Warmth of Other Suns. She interviewed over thousands actually, multiple thousands of Black people who were part of the Great Migration. So this book is all about the Great Migration of Black people from the South all throughout northern and western states in the United States. And there are three primary people, real life people, who she interviews in the book and tells their story from their childhood up to them migrating to Oakland, New York, and Chicago. Please go look at this book. I was crying in the first 15 minutes of the book. And it's from 1915 to 1970, the Great Migration from 1915 to 1970. And where according to her book, some 6 million Black people migrated from the South up to Western and Northern cities and states. And in the book, it talked about when these three folks, particularly one of the men, because one woman's name was Ida Mae something, another, and I can't remember everybody, but how it was like a secret to leave because you were punished for trying to leave the South. You were punished. And so there was this Black man who, like the other Black people who were closer to him, they knew, but it was other people who were further out and even white people that they couldn't let them know that they were leaving the South because they would be punished. Any kind of showing of success, there was punishment. Any kind of showing of defying the system that white folks laid out for them, there was punishment. And then all of us have felt the trauma of Rosewood, right? Of all the stories that we've heard of Black people uprising in the United States over the centuries, and the way white rage has come and massacred Black people. On a deep subconscious level, we fear any kind of being attacked, being come after when we rise. When we rise financially, when we get on camera and embody vast power, when you have the audacity to get on camera and say, I am a descendant of a ruling class, follow me, hire me, I have answers, and really position and authority yourself as the authority you are. This is what I'm getting from these leaders who I'm on the phone with, where when they sit with themselves, they know that they have something that is Jesus, right? That is immensely superior, and not in like a colonizing white European kind of way, but is of original power, that is of epic proportions and power. Then to take and embody that to where they're not able to be slapped around in it, to where they're not able to be pushed away because of some scary words on the internet, because of somebody doing or saying something that makes them feel a certain way, that they can be with all of those feelings and all of those sensations and still stand in full power. This is where I'm seeing is the edge for so many of us. You understand what I'm saying? Let me know in the comments, even if you're watching as a replay, if you understand what I'm saying. And so when you work with us, when you do these exercises, because if you've been watching for the last several weeks, I keep giving you specific things to do to begin to embody power. Yes, it's by yourself, and so it has its limitations. And when we start offering a group opportunity, that amplifies naturally your results. Because when two or more are gathered, you understand what I'm saying? Hey, Cynthia. And so this is how you begin to start embodying vast power. Do you guys have any I'm having chills right now. What questions do you guys have? I'd like to teach you to not be someone who's constantly receiving information. You are powerful. Stop just going around asking for somebody to feed you. Going to another video, look at what are you doing? What are you doing? How are you leading? Because that's what you're doing. Thank you for the hearts, whoever just gave me the hearts. Hey, Maurice, right? You running around here because this industry has taught us to go looking for other people, right? And listen, this work matters, right? So I'm not saying, well, and aren't people here to look for help and hire? Yeah, right. And if you've been watching me for the last month, let alone the last 3 years, what are you doing? Why haven't you inboxed me yet to see how you could be a part of leveraging this message? How we can work together, how we can support you, what you got going on. Maurice, do we know each other? Your name doesn't ring a bell. Carnegie. Let me say this. I would like it to be where you all allow yourselves to get so dirty through action. When I say dirty, I mean you're in action. You're doing your marketing, you're doing your healing, you're putting yourself in the ring, you're playing the game. Like, I would like to see all of you guys get so dirty, whether you're working with us or not, that you get so dirty that it gets to a point, whether it's 2, 3, 4 years from now, however long it takes, there's no competition here, that you get to a point, because this is the goal, this is where I'm going for, that it gets to the point that things that would wipe out the average person, that would send them crying under the bed for a week, that would send them unable to, because they're so disturbed because of some external event, right? That the same event or even something that could be considered worse happens to you, and you're able to lean back, open your legs, and handle it. I mean, because when you get to the level of master, for those of you who are masters, and yes, I'm still writing the book, for those of you who have wondered, I'm still writing the book for masters. When you really get to a high spiritual level and you understand universal law and you understand the all, and if you don't know what that is, maybe now's not your time. Google it. But once you really know, not just know it intellectually because you read it 10 times and studied in that way, but you know it at an embodied level, deep subconscious level, nobody can fuck with you. It's just, people can say and do, people can have opinions, but, right? Really, you guys are, my mom and you guys are a big part of the reason why I even choose to even stay alive. I mean, I've had so much of the material things. I'll talk to you guys about that. And it's nice. It's wonderful. It's nice. It is, love. It's extraordinary, right? Um, but when you really get that it's all made up and you choose everything, you can create anything and everything. You decide then what you're gonna what you do is you allow yourself to be open to what is actually yours. Like me, not like possessively yours. I mean like in your stream of being to be a part of. Did that just go over heads? Or did y'all really get that? All right. Cynthia said, I'm just starting out. I remember when I had dreams of people following me and I was told I was crazy. I've always had extremely lucid dreams of my past life. What was your past life, Cynthia? And where do you live? Noige? Is that African? What else? Do you guys wish to hear other examples of embodying vast power? Any questions I can answer? Because I'm talking about this, but this is not something you listen to. This is something you actually be and practice. And so click the link with this video to be notified when we're inviting you into a group opportunity. I'm actually thinking about doing something over a short-term system. Anyway, I'm thinking about some things. A warrior, yes, that's what's up. Feminine warriors who rest, right? Who take good care of themselves, who sleep, who have great sex. Even if you're single and you're caring for yourself in that way, you know, um, sexual power is so important. It's one of the modules, if you will, that we'll be teaching here at Melanin Sovereignty. Sexual power, sexual liberation is so, so, so important when it comes to embodiment, because a lot of the sensation that you're going to feel as you start to embody is going to come through your genitals, is going to come through your heart, it's going to come through your crown. And if you currently hold shame in your heart, pain in your heart, if you currently hold shame or trauma in your vagina, in your womb, if you currently have thoughts of not being enough and being unworthy and not intelligent, you will bypass the power that is looking to be embodied at a crown level, heart level, vaginal level, because these are the areas where we start to embody. Is this making sense? I mean, this is deep, deep stuff. I don't know any business coaching program that includes these pieces in teaching their clients. I'm not interested in having a bunch of people in a group coaching program, and the majority of them are not making the progress because their insides are corrupt. That's what I have seen so much of. That's what I've also been a part of. And I've been one of many inside of a group coaching program. All these people, and they're going in circles, and they're playing at a low level, going in circles, when I can see it as clear as day. She's afraid of being killed. She's afraid that if she gets on camera and actually says and bees that somebody's going to kill her, and it's subconscious. And you steady telling her to just go push through it. Even if she does push through it and gets the video done and she celebrates it after because this is what they do. Go do it and yeah, you did it. And ain't nothing, that is not lasting. That cheer and you did it doesn't last. What about tomorrow? What about next week? What about making offers? What about getting and doing a conversion video where she's to make offers and then after make an offer, actually help people from a place of authority? I'm talking about full embodied power, you guys. Like, is that too fucking much to ask? And black people, it's shit that white people can get away with that you can't get away with. You can disagree with me. If I don't disagree, you are the original. You cannot get away with the things she can get away with. I can get into that more at another time, but she can get away with things that you cannot get away with. You have. You even communicate with the sun in a way that she cannot. No, girl, this is super advanced. This is super advanced what you're learning here at Melanin. It's catered to the ancestry and the skin and the experience of melanin folk. You either with that or not. You either can see even into deeper what I'm saying or you can't. I hope that you can. Alexa says, can you discuss how to embody vast power during periods of grief? So any emotion, whether it's grief, ecstatic joy, huge orgasm, that is huge. I'm telling you, that's one of the ways that I learned how to start embodying vast power. And I'm gonna share that too. Maybe now, maybe later. But how you start to embody vast power during grief is you allow yourself to go deep into the grief. Go deep into the grief. So oftentimes when people are grieving, I was watching Idris Elba in an interview, and he was talking about, I think, his mom dying, somebody close to him dying, and that he recognized that he was afraid to grieve because he was like, if I start grieving, I might not be able to come out of it, right? And I think that's a fear of a lot of people who are either avoiding grieving or they're in grieving, but they're not fully allowing themselves to grieve. And so what I know works, I know this as a matter of fact, okay, because I have experienced my own grief many times, is that you must allow yourself to touch the bottom of the grief. You know you've touched the bottom of the grief when you feel empty, when you feel hollow. Okay. So you go all the way down into the grief without judgment. These are critical right here, what I'm sharing with you. Without judgment. Like, oh, I shouldn't be feeling like this. Any kind of judgment. Kill it. Not right now. I'm aware that grief is a tender situation. So let me be mindful of my language right now. Where if you catch yourself judging yourself, you instantly apply tenderness to that, right? Your mind is saying, this happened 10 years ago. You shouldn't still be grieving. You need to get over it. No, I am allowed to grieve for however long it takes, right? Another one is, it could be so many things that you're taking too long, hurry up. It's not even yours. You guys weren't even that close. This has nothing to do with you. Right. And Alexis, you can put in whatever the thing is that might be going through your head. Whatever it is, you apply tenderness and compassion to it. I'm allowed to grieve. I'm allowed to sleep all day if that's what it takes. I'm allowed to eat like crap if I even feel like eating like crap. I'm allowed to have vodka for breakfast. I'm like really allowing yourself to go all the way down into the grief. Because if you don't, it's going to come and snatch you a year, 3 years, 5 years later, and all that time when you didn't let yourself fully grieve is going to be like wasted, because you're not going to be able to really live in that time. So you're really going to be walking around like a zombie anyway. So you let yourself go down to the bottom of that grief. When I went through some of the greatest grief of my life in 2013, I'm telling you, I was a snotty, funky, filthy mess. And a lot of what I just said is what I did. I was drinking all day. I was sleeping all day. I wasn't taking showers for 3, 4 days at a time. And I just let myself, because for a while I was trying to not go there. Because grief is intense, right? I was trying not to go there. It was heavy. You understand what I'm saying, Alexis? Let me know if this is helping. And when I finally let myself go there, baby, the floodgates opened. Oh man, and all the jewels started coming in, and then God could get in, and you know what I mean? I let go of being mad at God and begging and on my knee. Right? It's just, you got to get down to the bottom of that. And you know you get down to the bottom of it when you're hollow, when you feel empty. And not empty with a kind of sorrow around the empty, but empty where you can feel that you're at the bottom of a thing, right? Because then from there, all the light, all God, right, can really talk to you. God can, and then boom, you start rising up out of that. Wow, I think that was pretty powerful what I just said. It's hella true. Just tell the truth, man. You guys are your best when you tell the truth. So I'll say a little bit about this embodying vast power through climax in sex. So there's a difference between climax and orgasm. And for those of you who are currently having sex and you would like to use sex as a way to expand your capacity to embody vast power. So when I say embody vast power, just, you can even say embody vast sensation. Embody vast sensation. That's what power is. Vast sensation that you can then wield as you wish through words and deeds that create things. Okay. Alexis, did that explanation of grief work for you? Would you like for me to elaborate? Let me know in the comments. Sex. So I was sexually abused as a girl, and talk therapy worked minimally for me. So I went on my own unorthodox path to heal my own sexual trauma, because talk therapy was not working for me. And so I got really into sex as a teenager. And I, like many women, whenever I would have climax orally from a man, for those of us who have low capacity for sensation, what do? We push him away. Like when we feel ourselves climaxing, you push his head away, right? Or maybe when you feel during intercourse, you are at climax and you push, right? The climax comes and you push him away. Oh no, stop, right? That's an inability to be able to be with high sensation. This is why I said earlier, sex and money are two of the greatest gateways for you to start to learn how to embody vast power, embody vast sensation, right? So for years I did that, until one day I met a man who wouldn't let me push him away so easy. Okay. And I remember, and this was years ago too, oral sex. I was receiving oral sex, which I love. And climax came, right? And here I'm trying to push him away. And he's pulling me. He's not letting me push him away. And something in me was just like, okay, Naima, relax. So I started saying out loud, okay, Naima, relax, relax, relax. Oh my God, relax. And the sensation is just like, right? For those of you who have climaxed through oral, right? And then so I'm just with it. I'm like, stay with it, stay with it. And he's just there. He's just on it, right? He's just there and he just stays right there, like on it, on it. Boom, then I climax again. And this isn't the first time I've had two, right? But this is the first time that it's been like on it, like concentrated sensation. This is why, man, if you can learn to be with sensation in all the ways, this is so good, right? So then he's on it, on it, on it, on it, on it, right? And again, I'm trying to push, 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 right? And he stays with it. And again, third climax, third, right? And he's just on, and I keep saying, relax, 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 relax. And I'm telling myself this out loud, right? This is me expanding. Excuse me, this is a distraction. Can you go, please? Thank you. Go. um, in this moment of staying with it and not just pushing it away and stop, because that right there is keeping myself out of power. I didn't know that at the time, so I'm teaching you now. So for those of you who are currently in this, having sex and receiving oral, you can practice this starting tonight, right? And so here, third time, and it's just there. There's no stopping at all. There's no rest. It's just on it, just on it, just on it, just. And I'm just like, oh, I'm just melting. I'm just like all on the bed. And then I come back to it, like, and he's just not stopping. He's just not stopping. And he just stays and he just stays and he just stays. And then finally, he stops. We end up having intercourse, and it's just this experience was the most expansive, orgasmic. So this became beyond climax. So when I say climax, I mean that point that everybody reaches in sex where there's a heightened state that lasts for 20 seconds or whatever, and then it dissipates and it goes away. That's climax. Orgasm is a state of being, right? Where it's like your whole body is awake and alive, and that's just your way of being, right? So this experience and then this intercourse that followed, and then being done with the actual act of it, I was orgasmic for literally hours afterwards. I couldn't sleep. Like woke, went to go take a shower, and it's nighttime. Went to go take a shower, just awoke, alive, my whole body. I remember seeing this woman on YouTube where her orgasm lasted so long that her boyfriend took her to the doctor. And she was just alive in her body, and the doctors didn't know what to do with her, Black woman. And I related to her in that moment. I related to her because it was like I just was so alive. My body had embodied and felt a high sensational state that it had never felt for such a long period of time. I'd had plenty of climaxes before that, the typical climax that everybody has, right? When you come 20 seconds, and then you pass out, right? This was like, whoa, oh, in the genitals. So just imagine you having these highs. That's why I'm like, a lot of people not ready for me. Like they want to be, they wish they could be, but then you come in and you're like, this is too much. Because you're going to have highly sensational experiences when you work with me. And we're not going to, it's not like you're going to be having some kind of sex exercises unless you specifically come and bring that to the table. But the nature of the work that we do is to get you to create sensation in your life so that you can be with it without what? Without being blown out by it and avoiding it and run away from it and not judging it and being like, that's not real. We can't do that. That's inappropriate. That's, all the things that people do when they have a hard time being with the thing. Oh man, I have so much to teach you guys. And for those of you who come inside of our Melanin Sovereignty program, I'm not sure that's going to be the actual name of it, but whew, you are in for the ride of your life. You hear me? And if you are serious about embodying, not just making an extra whatever, but really embodying so you can lead powerfully, so you can be the example in your bloodline, in your peer group, for your coaching clients, with your man, with your children, and every other decisions that are required of you throughout your life. This is why I've enjoyed working one-on-one with people, because people go deep and get personal in my one-on-one relationships. They get deep and they get personal. I mean, the things that I have had the privilege of being on the front of and seeing with intimately, when women dealing with stuff with, old shit that they dealing with in their 50s and 60s. Shit having to do with the mom and the husband and the children, shit that don't nobody else even know about. This is powerful, you guys. And so much of it is unorthodox. So much of it is unorthodox. It's not like normal coaching stuff. And I wish for you to be that for your clients. This is what's going to be required of Melanin folk. We are so behind. Man, we are so behind. So many of us are so emotionally underdeveloped. So many of us have been traumatized, and then we want to come out here and make money and lead, but we can't because we still dealing with being born a crack baby and daddy not being there and being raped at 12 and having low self-esteem. And then there's such a cognitive dissonance in us, because on the one hand, when you can really get quiet with yourself and you go into your prayer and ceremony, you feel the high divinity in you. And on the other hand, you have all these atrocious things that are happening in your reality, and reconciling the two is what we're doing together inside of Melanin Sovereignty. But you got to get over here. You got to be willing to get dirty. You understand what I'm saying? Facebook, you quiet. What's up? Or are my comments tripping? What did you see, Alexis? You said I saw that too. What did you see? You're welcome. Yay! Going into your hollow. Very good. Yes. Yeah, good. See? Yeah, I've lived many lives in this lifetime. Many lives. Yeah. All right, that's it for now. Please share these videos. Cynthia, please share. I don't know if you've ever shared, but you come here and you eat a lot and you find value. So please share. And whoever else is watching, somebody's life will be definitely blessed by you sharing. So Alexis, please share. And that's all for now. I'll be back here on Wednesday. And if you have like particular, like Alexis asked me this question, it's great. It's here while I'm live. Anybody else, even if you're watching as a replay, thank you for sharing, Cynthia. Even if you're watching as a replay and you have something that you'd like for me to get into, please let me know, because I may very well get into it. All right. So I'll be here on Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific. Lots of love. Bye.